All right.
Welcome. We are live. Welcome to the NonProphet Podcast on Sunday morning sermons. Today we are going to be talking about some crazy stuff I saw last night. We're here with my buddy Eric, talking about UFOs this morning. How you doing this morning, Eric?
Skeptical.
Skeptical.
Well, good.
That's fair. Hey, a healthy dose of skepticism is very important in all this stuff, you know? Like, I don't want to tell you what to believe.
I mean, when I see it, I'll believe it. That's just what it is. But my brain always goes to what's the easiest to explain when it comes to UFOs or really anything that I can't explain. My natural inclination is to always, what is the most simple and most likely explanation?
God, I used to
and
be
that's what I go with
too.
Until I'm proven otherwise.
That's the way I used to be too, but I've been finding that the absurd, for the mainstream absurd, is actually more believable than...
In some situations, I agree.
Than a lot of this stuff that we've been told. I understand that it's hard to kind of let go and just be able.
No, it's just logic. Like, you just follow the rules of logic, right?
Yeah, but see, once you start studying quantum mechanics and stuff, this stuff is all within logic. This stuff is all within reason. There's nothing out of this world. Like, it's nothing magical.
No, and I get that. But that's why I'm saying you just follow the laws of logic. And yeah, I mean, there can be many explanations. I just usually go with the most likely. But that's also part of logic. That doesn't mean something is impossible. And that doesn't mean that your takeaway is not correct. It just means that there's percentages of likelihood of which takeaway is correct. Does that make sense?
Yeah. 100. No, I
So that's all I'm getting at. That's the way I approach it. And it's really difficult for me too, because I never, I live in a light polluted area. I don't get to see stuff in the sky.
I live in a really light polluted area too. I just happen to live south of two major Air Force bases that are known for weird phenomena. I am south of Area 51, and I'm also south of the Utah range, which has been a popular hotspot lately. And which is all within my viewable sky from my backyard. Mind you, I've never seen any UFOs before in my life. I've never. I thought I saw a couple. I've been on some long drives at night and seen some weird crap in the sky, but nothing I would go, oh, that's definitely a UFO. There was one time when my wife and I were driving through Texas late at night, and when we were going cross country, and I saw some stuff in the sky that I thought could have been UFOs, but I'm not going to go, yeah, that's a UFO. It was just weird, right?
Sure.
So I've seen a few weird things before. I've heard some weird stories. But
I have too, actually, but you sit there, you look at it for a while, and then you realize, oh, that's just
right. Exactly. You go, yeah, there's some things that could explain that. It's not within the realm of really wild. That could be a fast airplane, could have been a shooting star. This or that. There's these things.
It's where you start getting into the crazy movement and maneuvers, where But here's something you got to remember too, is angles of things.
Yes.
Can sometimes play tricks on you, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
But then, some of the videos I've seen, if they're real, because there's no way for me to know for sure, because I'm not educated enough on video editing to be able to tell.
Okay, so let me pull up a video for you really quick, okay?
Go for it.
I want to show you this video.
You showing the audience too?
Yeah, this is all, you guys can see this. Okay, so it's small, but you can see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, you know what?
It's flashing red and green, that's normal airplane stuff.
Correct. That was an airplane that flew overhead. Here, I'll turn on the sound. You can hear what I'm saying.
Well, you really need a tripod too, because when you're dancing around.
Hang on. Listen.
Good. That's why I thing's close. You can hear it. That's where you cannot get pictures of UFOs. That's an airplane, and I can clearly see that's an airplane even at night. My phone can't see shit.
So that was an airplane flying overhead that I got a picture of. I could see the wings. It flew right over my house. I could hear the jets. That's an airplane.
Right.
But they're very distinct in the camera, and they're very distinct to the eye. Like there's no mistaking this for the other things that I saw. Okay. And not to mention, I sit in my backyard on a pretty frequent basis and watch the airplanes fly from east to west into PHX. And they're very like distinct paths. They have a very particular level. Like you can see the levels that altitudes that they're flying out of Phoenix at, and then the altitudes where they're flying into Phoenix. You can also look further to the west and see them coming in from the west, eastbound into PHX. So you can see these, and they're very clear at night. Like you can just see the airplanes all over the place. Big airport. What I saw last night has nothing to do with airplanes. I can say that. Okay, let me give you the story. Let me tell you what happened last night. This will help kind of frame what I was looking at last night. So, I went to bed, say around midnight. I went and crashed on the couch with the dogs, and I kind of felt like they were going to wake me up because I couldn't get them to go outside. So about 45 minutes later, the dogs are all going crazy and need to go outside. So I let them out. I go lay back down on the couch for like 10 minutes, and I try not to fall asleep, cruising through Facebook or whatever. I get up, go out back, they're gone. My kid freaking left the gate open. I was like, God damn it. So, and Milo's all busted up. Like, I don't want him to get lost in the middle of the night and so I went out looking for him. Got in my car, drove 3 or 4 blocks around, couldn't see him, but I've had this happen before, and just driving around going, Rocket, Milo, they'll come home. They'll hear me in the neighborhood, right? Looking for him, so they come home. Yeah. So I come home, go in my backyard, and I'm just kind of waiting for him to come back, looking out into the sky, and I see shooting stars. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. There's supposed to be, we're passing through, let me look up the name of the meteor shower, because it's a reoccurring meteor shower. We pass through it. It's like an area that we pass through. It's an old big meteor collision, and we pass through it on occasion. Right. And it is called the Perseid meteor shower. The Perseid meteor shower. It's reoccurring. It's the biggest meteor shower that Earth passes through on a regular basis. Tons of them. Dude, I was watching them all night long. I'm gonna make a video. I got a lot of footage from last night, but there's nothing to see. It's all me talking about what I'm seeing. And like every 30 seconds, I'm going, oh, there's another one. There's another shooting star. There's another shooting star. Again, a completely distinct phenomena from these things I saw last night. Now, but anyways, that caught my attention and had me looking up into the sky, right? And just the natural light behind me is towards Phoenix, and Four Peaks, the mountain range, Superstition mountain range and stuff, is all away from the city. So I'm looking away from that ambient light when I'm looking for stuff in the night sky. Whoa! All of a sudden, I see these bright lights up above Four Peaks. So then, I couldn't really tell what was going on, so I didn't really think it was that at first. I kind of thought it was stars popping in and out of the clouds. But it still looked a little weird. So I pulled up the cloud map on my phone. There were no clouds. And then I kind of started to see clouds up there, and they were clearly distinct from the clouds. Like, these things were not going in and out of the clouds. You could see the puffy clouds. There was no moon last night, so the stars were really bright. And so they kind of illuminated the clouds a little bit. And so I'm like, oh, okay, there's the clouds. It's not them. There's these things. These are not planes going in and out of clouds. That's not what it is. And then I was like, well, maybe they're stars, right? So I pull up my star map. I've got that on my phone. I look at that frequently outside at night. I'll look at, pull it up, and you can take your phone. You can look around. You can see what stars and constellations you're looking at. I just like to do that. Definitely not stars either. There's no stars there that you can visually see. You can set them. You can set the settings on Sky. I think the app I use is called it's called Sky Map. You can set what's visual and what's not, and what's outside your visual range. You can kind of use it along with a telescope to know what your telescope can see if you point it at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it tells it. it's got a layer. You can see the visual distance of the things in the night sky. None of that stuff. Not airplanes, not clouds, not stars. Okay, so what's left? If you're seeing weird things flying around in the night sky, really low, drones, right? That's like the next thing. I see those all the time, and I've thought they were UFOs. Like, oh, no, that's not UFOs. Those are just drones. They're all over the place now. And so you kind of start to get where you dismiss the drones. You know, you're like, nah, that's drones. That's nothing weird. Well, then I started seeing them fly behind Four Peaks, which is really far away. It's like 100 miles from me. They're flying behind Four Peaks, and then coming back up over the Four Peaks and going back down. So here's where shit starts to get really crazy, right? So what I watch is I'm sitting there, and I see these two orbs, and this is after I've confirmed it's none of this other stuff. And I'm still not convinced they're not drones kind of closer to me, and they just look like they're further away, which would make them look like they're maneuvering at high speeds, even though they could kind of be like the end of the neighborhood, right? Like even a big drone, you know, like at the end of the neighborhood, these things could be like a pack of them, some kids playing around with them at night. Because I've seen that happen before. I've seen that before. And on 4th of July, it tripped me out. Dude, I thought I was looking at UFOs, and a big group of us were outside lighting off fireworks, and we're looking at, and we're like, no, those are just drones taking footage of the fireworks. So I'm starting to understand what drones look like in the night sky too, so I can differentiate. These are not drones. Way too bright, way too fast, way too far away. And if these are some kind of standard drone, they would be so large and so maneuverable that they would have to be like the highest tech thing DJI has ever come up with.
Well, I'm sure there's military shit out there that are just as fancy. You know, they could do that shit.
At first, this is what I'm thinking, because they were like kind of whoop, whoop, like they would come into view, and then they would kind of like these dots. They would like come into view, and they get kind of bright in the night sky to the point where they were brighter than the stars, and then they would go whoop, and they would just like blink out, right? They would get like dim real fast and then disappear. And there was a couple of them doing this, just like kind of blinking on, getting bright, and then going dim again. And I'm like pulling up my sky map again, looking, going, are you sure those aren't stars passing behind clouds? Because it didn't make sense to me. Then I saw them change direction. They were going, in my perspective, they were coming in and out. Like they were going away from me and then coming back towards me. Away from me and then coming back towards me. Then, all of a sudden, I saw what looked like a flashlight coming from these things that illuminated the light sky in like a cone shape out, like a giant flashlight, or like the most powerful floodlight you've ever seen. It like lit the sky up for a brief moment, like a cone coming out from near these objects. I saw this two or three times in different directions, and I was like, "What the heck is that? I've never seen anything like that before." So I'm on like the UFO pages, like looking for like, has anyone ever seen this phenomenon before? You know, like, is this a new thing? Because I've never heard about this. Like, I've never heard about UFOs doing this kind of shit. Then I see what looks like 6 or 7 of them. They're like mostly white, but they're like different colors. Like you could tell. It's hard to tell their directionality, right? Because they're so far away and they're so little. There's nothing to really give you their relationship. It's just a black sky. I found there's a power pole at the end of my property, and I could see it, but I could only barely see the mountains in the night sky. So I kind of have this like reference now. I'm like, my eyes have adjusted. I got this reference, and I see them going back and forth across this pole, behind this pole, and going behind the mountains. So like now I know roughly how far away they are and about their altitude, right? And they're just moving all different directions, and when they would turn, and when I say turn, they would be bright, like they'd come at, it looked like they were coming at me, like the light would get brighter. Then it would turn, and they would like shift to red, blue, and they would go laterally, or left to right in front of me. And now their luminosity wouldn't change. They go zip really fast, like way too fast for any drone. If they're that far away, if they're past the Four Peaks Mountains, which means they're like 100 miles away, and they would, and mind you, I'm still looking at commercial aircraft way out in the distance above these things, and these things are going way faster than the commercial craft, like way faster than an F-22 or an F-35. Like these things are going way over Mach. Like, at least like Mach 3 or 4, right? And quite frankly, in the night sky, when they're that dim, if they go faster than that, I'm just not going to be able to see them. And they would just like disappear and reappear in different places. And mind you, I could see like 6 or 7 of them at a time. And when I was like really squinting, I swear I saw like a dozen of these little dots out there. And mind you, I would keep pulling up my sky map and making sure like those aren't stars. Like I'm like, those are not stars. Those are something else in the night sky. So anyways, this started about... They were not satellites, dude. These things were doing loop-de-loops. Hang on. So the first hour that I was out there, because I was out there for 2 hours, I started seeing them around 1:10. My dogs woke me up at about 12:45. By the time I got back in the house, it was like 1:10, 1:15. And I'm sitting here on my phone trying to figure out what's going on for like half an hour. Like I don't really believe what I'm seeing yet. So, but now I'm starting to like, my eyes are really focused. I've been out in the night for a long time. I got the brightness setting all the way down on my phone. I can really see what's going on out there. They start doing loop-de-loops. Like, you can't see the hand motions. You're not looking at my camera, but they're just going whoop, 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 and they would take off. Just whack, just like go out of range. Then, so I told you I saw that light beam coming out of them, right? Well,
yeah.
This is the craziest thing. This is probably the wildest shit that I saw last night. Was it when they were roughly in a trajectory where they were coming at me, roughly coming at me, they would get really bright to the point where it looked like the light that was coming pointed at me was artificially close to me. Like real bright. Like you can see some really bright stars in the night sky. These things would get like so bright, it looked like someone was standing on a rooftop in my neighbor's yard shining a light in my face. This is how bright it was. It's really hard to explain how fast that light came at me. As if someone, I'm telling you, it's as if someone was holding a flashlight or like a, some kind of floodlight at me and then like moving it really fast at me. Like super fast, just right at me. And then it would stop and just sit there for a second. And then it would like change directions, the color would change, then it would move off and start doing loop-de-loops. Like this is a UFO. I don't have any other way to explain it. It's not a satellite. It's not a commercial aircraft. It's not any kind of drone that I've ever seen before. These things are off in the distance, going very high speeds, doing maneuvers that I've never seen airplanes do. And mind you, this is a pack of them. Like, I could see at any given time...
Drones can do that shit.
Not that fast, man. There's no propeller kind of drone that can move at that speeds. It would blow the wings off. Like, I'm telling you, like, SR-71 speeds... where this craft is the most...
Once again, it depends on how far away it is, though.
I'm telling you, they were past 4 peaks. No, I could see them go behind the mountains. So that means they're about 100 miles away, if not further. Which would then tell you that, no, these things... I can see an airplane as far away as them doing 600 miles an hour, and these things were going 5-6 times as fast as that. But they could have even been further away from than those airplanes, because those airplanes go right over 4 peaks. I mean, I've been in the airplanes on those routes, looking down at the planet. Like looking down at the ground. Like I know where these airplanes are going. Like I'm very familiar. I fly out of PHX all the time. I just did that same route from Phoenix to Houston. Like a few days ago, looking at the ground, coming in and out. Like I can see where 4 peaks are, what it looks like from that elevation.
Well, if they're behind the mountain, that means they're incredibly close to the ground.
Again, airplanes don't fly that close to the ground unless they're military craft.
It's possible, very possible.
So I'm just saying they're a UFO. I'm not telling you I know what they are. I'm telling you what I saw was a pack of orbs that were, I would say, roughly between... There's this mountain I looked up last night. I think, let me see if I can find it on Google Maps. I'll pull up Google Earth so you can see what I'm talking about. Roughly where these things were. You can see the distances. Anyways, so these things are... What is that? So these things are roughly, they're far away. They're far away. They're a couple 100 miles away from me,
Yeah,
That would be my guess.
Share.
What?
You gotta put it on your share.
My share should be up. Okay, so let's go to Four Peaks.
Don't dox yourself.
I don't really care. Okay, so I'll just say that I'm somewhere here in Phoenix, okay? Everybody knows I live in Phoenix. Now, Four Peaks, I want mountain, not... Okay, here's Four Peaks. These are the 4 peaks that they are behind.
What's
now,
the
this is...
elevation on that?
Huh?
What's the elevation on those?
Let's see. I wonder if Google Earth will do that for me. Let's see if it pulls it up on Wikipedia. Let's talk about how 7,000 feet, 7,500 feet, and these things were kind of floating around near the top of the peaks. Sometimes they would go higher. I actually saw a couple shoot straight off up into the night sky. They were a little bit harder to see, so that's like more of along the lines of I'm not gonna like say that's what I saw. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure I saw some of them shoot up into the sky at really high velocities. So there you go. You can see the mountains. Let's see if I can pull that up. That's the mountain range. That's a view from my backyard, right?
Right.
Okay. So there's another one. There's another mountain range right here. I forget what it's called. It's like Montezuma or something like that. And it's kind of known for having a lot of like military craft fly around it and do like loops around it. You can see them during the day. You can see the military craft do this because I do live pretty close to a base. There's always like Chinooks and stuff flying over my house, and they go out there and they do that. They test fly around this mountain range up here. And I'm telling you, I think that those craft, they're young right here, young. This is where those guys. Let's see if I can see the range. It was right here. There's a certain mountaintop I looked at last night that they were flying around. It's this one right here, though. And I'm not really sure what this mountain range is called. And see, that's like a 5,000, 6,000 elevation mountain right there. So I'm pretty sure they were...
drive up there.
I almost got in my car and went last night. But I remember hearing...
Sure.
No, because I remember hearing that UFOs tend to fly between 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning. I've never seen them before, so I only know what I've seen on the internet, right? And they say between 1 and 3. And I'm thinking, okay, I can drive up to Lake Reservoir right now. It'll take me about 2 hours to get there. I'm like, fuck, it's too late. I was like, the show will be over by the time I'll get there. I'm just going to watch from my backyard. But they say that they tend to reoccur for about a month at a time at the same date of the week at the same time. And I've already talked to some people who've seen the same phenomenon over those same ranges and say, yep, we definitely see them out there. This is the place to go. This is the time to go see them if you want to go see them more frequently. So I'm definitely going to go explore. But anyways, they were up here, right in this mountain range. Oh, there it is, Mazatazal Peak. Mazatazal Peak. There we go. So this range right in here, I don't know if you can see my stream. They were right up in here. See the Lake Roosevelt? This is where I wanted to drive last night because I thought I'd have a good. You drive up to Browns Peak right here. There's a drive that goes through here. You can totally go and look at this stuff. So like I feel like they were right in through here, and I want to drive right out to here, some old camping spots, and look out here. And other people have told me the same thing. That this is where they go to look at them. In between Payson. To go see them.
If
there's
people
some
go to
roads.
look at them, somebody's must have taken video of it, which means there's video out there of it.
No, everyone says they're too hard to capture, and I'm telling you, you would have to have incredibly sophisticated, high-tech, nighttime camera shit to be able to pick these things up. I'm telling you. So this is a picture. I'll put this up for everybody. This is one of them. 2 of them, actually, that I saw last night. I actually got a picture of them. These were 2 of the orbs. And you can see that one is like going off in one direction, and another one, this one over here to the left. Oh, no one can see this. I'm going to pull this back up. Okay. So, they're kind of hard to see. But
Next time when you're taking pictures of stuff like that, you want to hold your arm or put your phone against something solid.
I did. I have a scissor lift in my backyard right now, and I raised it up as high as I could get it, and I set my phone down on the rail. That's exactly what I was doing. You know, it was late at night. I'm doing the best I can. It's the first time I've ever had an experience like this. I want to be set up. I actually had bought a tripod. I almost put it up last night. I couldn't find it in the dark. I had it somewhere in the yard. I was tripping all over myself. I cut the shit out of myself. I was so excited once I finally realized there were UFOs that I walked off the back of the fucking trailer of the scissor lift and ate shit because I didn't realize how high I was. I was bleeding all over the place. I was dragging blood in the house. I ran inside. I woke up to wife. I was like, "You want to go watch? You want to go see some UFOs?" She's been up with the baby all night, and she, you know, I'm always talking to her about crazy shit, right? She's like, "No, go away. I'm tired." I was like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Are you sure there's UFOs out there right now?" And I'm watching them, and there's also a meteor shower. It's like the craziest night I've ever seen. She's like, you know, like not. I was like, "Okay, fine." Bleeding all over the place, you know, like charged back out there. Got in that scissor lift, raised. It was cool, dude. Dude, it was cool. It was fucking cool.
I'm sorry, but it's still funny.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! It's funny.
Okay.
This is some footage right here.
It's gone out and they just came back, but I just want you to see this is real. I'm looking at UFOs right now, turning around away from my house, pointing up at Fort Peaks. It's my neighbor's light. Use it as a reference.
It's like you can't see anything that I was seeing. Like I could see my back fence, I could see the power pole, I could see the night sky, I could see a couple clouds. My phone doesn't pick up any of this.
100 miles over.
This is right at the start.
Good 10
Really?
stars.
Really, what you would want is a DSLR, and you would open the aperture all the
Just
way
came
up
back.
to collect as much light as possible.
Oh my god, it went away already.
See, every time I pull out my camera, they disappear. I swear, it's almost like they know you're pointing the camera at them.
No, here's what it
Oh my
is.
god, it went away already.
Your phone is literally deleting that shit from the footage. Do you understand how cameras and videos work?
Oh my god, it went away already.
I do, but some of them were so bright that they were brighter than the commercial airplanes that showed up on camera.
No, I understand, but check this out. So what happens is your phone
look!
literally takes
Stop.
what you're taking a video of.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Please continue. My apologies.
Your phone will take a video, right, of a big area, right, and it's saying, "Oh, look, we're taking a video of a bunch of black." Well, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the blanks. It's all black. Next,